Welcome to Business at the Speed of Sale podcast. I'm Anthony Flatt, your host. Today I want to talk about the magic of immersion. Now, a lot of people see some of the things that I'm doing and the successes that I've had, and they're like, well, you're this special guy. You've got special qualities that other people don't have, and, you were built differently. And honestly, I think that's a bit of a cop-out. I am not really that much different than anybody else. I think the big thing is I think differently. And one of the things that I truly believe in is if there's anything you want to accomplish in life, the best way to accomplish it is to really immerse yourself into it. It's like getting into a bathtub, right? Putting your body completely under the water, completely immersing yourself in whatever it is that you're wanting to learn, do, or achieve, and making sure that you're just consumed with whatever that is. And I do that all the time. I do that largely in, learning new tricks, techniques, tactics to utilize in my businesses. And people are like, wow, you always come up with these great ideas. I didn't develop most of the ideas I come up with. I borrowed bits and pieces from different things that I learned from lots of different people. But I learned them because I was willing to immerse myself in them. If I want to learn about webinars, I'm going to go out and I'm going to read and I'm going to listen and I'm going to learn everything I possibly can about webinars. I'm going to go get audios. I'm going to go get ebooks. I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to go to the bookstore. I'm going to just immerse myself in learning about webinars. And I've done that. And I studied everything. Now, doesn't mean that everything I study I implement. Doesn't mean that everything I study I agree with. But if I really immerse myself and I really get comfortable with that topic, that thing I'm trying to learn, then I have the ability to take the best parts of those, and where the magic happens is I put those together and massage those together to make something that is new and unique in a different way. Then I go out and test that and see how it performs, and then I tweak it and change it and add to it, and maybe I got to go study a little bit more or go learn something else, or maybe there's a big hole, something I didn't think of, and now I've got to go learn that. So maybe I have to go to the internet and search for some videos or some audios or somebody's blog that talks about, how do I use this, one piece of software, or how do I do this one thing that I left out or that I can't figure out how to do. And I add that to it and I continue to grow. You can learn anything if you really, really want to, but you're not going to learn it by reading one book or listening to one audio or talking to one person. You're only going to learn what their perspective is. You need to really immerse yourself in as much of that as you possibly can so that you become an expert in that capability. When people talk to me about the subjects that I am known for, they say, oh, well, you have all this experience. It's not really just having the experience. The reason I have the experience is because I backed it up with all of the studying and information that I gathered so that I would know more than the next person. And in business, especially on the corporate side, one of the things that I have really, really prided myself in, personal pride, inward pride, is knowing more about the meeting I'm going to have than anybody else that's going to be in that meeting. So if I'm going into a sales presentation and I'm going to present to a customer, first off, I'm going to know that customer and I'm going to know them well. I'm going to know everything I possibly can about the people I'm going to be meeting with, where they're at in their business, if they've been being successful, did they have a good year last year, are they struggling financially, the people that I'm meeting with, where are they out there and, been with the company forever and really happy, or are they out on LinkedIn looking for a job? I'm going to know that. I'm going to know the personalities that I'm going into. I'm also going to know the content that I'm going there to talk about or that I'm going there to sell. And if I can't know everything so that I'm the expert there, I'm going to bring people with me to make sure that I have the backup to be able to do that. Now, the trick with this is, and this is where a lot of salespeople get this wrong, you want to be the smartest guy in the room. You don't want to be the guy who tells everybody you're the smartest guy in the room. You really want to be kind of the dumbest guy in the room, right? When you present things, the customer doesn't want to be sold to. So you need to present things from a perspective of, well, what about this? Well, how did you guys think about this? Have you ever considered maybe doing this? Hey, this might be a dumb question, but do you guys do this? And then let them talk and really guide them into coming to the conclusion you want them to come to, and not, well, I know that this happens, and I know you've probably tried to do this in the past, and I know you were probably unsuccessful because when I do it, I do this, 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 and this, and it's always working. Man, that is a major, major turnoff. You pontificating to everybody in the room about how great you are and what you've done is absolutely the wrong tactic from that perspective. Learn and know everything you possibly can. How do you do that? You have to immerse yourself. You have to be willing, ready, and able to study, to listen, to learn, to walk, talk, eat, breathe, sleep, whatever it is. When I was in high school, If you know anything about my background, I was a troubled youth. My mom died when I was 7. I lived with my stepfather, who was a professional gambler and an alcoholic. And I've got all those stories. And I don't say that to have somebody say, oh, that's so bad, because I am who I am because of how I was raised and how I grew up. I had some great people in my life. I had some foster parents early on in my life that were major influences. Don and Linda really helped me. I went to Boys Town. They really took care of me when I was at Boys Town and after I left Boys Town. Boys Town really did a lot of good things for me. So I don't want to say that just to get a big awe out of everybody. But back to the whole, wrestling thing, that's when I got involved in wrestling at Boys Town. I just immersed myself in it. I walked, talked, eat, breathed, slept wrestling. I mean, that's all that was. Wrestling was my life. That's everything that I did every single day. And I was not a terribly, great wrestler, but I got to be pretty good because that was just my life. That was just everything that I did, everything I could possibly do. That's how I, developed that capability or developed that skill. And they say repetition's the mother of skill, right? So the more times you do something, the better you're going to get at it. Today, when I want to learn something, I want to learn how to write better sales copy. Well, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to watch every video I can find on YouTube about sales copy. I'm going to strip out the audios. I'm going to put them on my iPod and I'm going to be listening to them while I'm walking around. Even if I'm not paying specific attention to it, I'm going to have it playing. I'll put it on iPod, play it through my stereo in my office and just keep it rolling. I'll go and find, and now I'm not just listening to any Joe Schmo, right? I want to listen to people who know what they're talking about, people that are good at what they're doing, people that are considered experts in the field. And I'm going to study that. I'm going to listen to that. Now, I don't necessarily go out and buy everything under the sun. I do buy a lot of training material, but you don't need to go out and buy all that training material, right? What I'm doing more of, instead of buying a whole bunch of little packages, I'm going and getting as much of that information as I can for free and from other sources. And then I'm investing in, larger, very specific packages so that I can pick up a particular skill or capability that maybe I can't find out there, in blogs and Facebook and podcasts and other, free webinars and different things. But utilize all of that. Go do all that. If you're not willing to dive in deep into the pool and learn everything there is to know about the subject that you want to become an expert on, I don't know how you're going to become an expert. You have to totally immerse yourself in that capability. And it's not totally immerse yourself in quote unquote learning, because if you're constantly just looking at everything, you're not looking at anything. You do need to be purposeful and specific. There's certain things that I want to learn, and then I focus in on learning that one thing and then applying it to my business. And then I go on to the next thing. And, there's all kinds of numbers that say how much you should be learning. Traditionally, I think most of the gurus and the experts that I have been following basically say you need to be learning 10 to 20% of your time and implementing 80 to 90% of your time. So it's not about just learning. So that's why I say I have podcasts playing in the background while I'm doing stuff. I have podcasts playing in my headphones while I'm walking through the airport, while I'm traveling in the rent-a-car or in the taxi, or when I'm in the hotel room. I've went to conferences with my headphones on as well. I bought a very specific type of headphones that are kind of hidden a little bit, wraps around back, they're Bluetooth, and I'll walk into conferences, with those on as well. Just trying to use up every minute of every day that I can to immerse myself in, whatever it is I'm specifically studying. So follow good people, get good information, and then just immerse yourself. Pick that thing. Do you want to learn about webinars? Boom, study webinars. You want to learn about email marketing? Boom, study email marketing. You want to learn about writing sales copy? Boom, study sales copy. You want to learn about Facebook marketing? Study Facebook marketing. Don't study all of them at once. Pick one and stick to it. Twitter marketing, stick to it. LinkedIn marketing, YouTube marketing, Pinterest, whatever your interest is, pick that and stick to it and really immerse yourself. I think you'll find that you can start connecting the dots a lot better. After you've listened to the same kind of strategy told by 2 or 3 different people, you can see the commonalities. And then you see some other strategies told by some other people that use some of the same core concepts. You see how you can tie those together. And then you learn a completely different program about the same kind of, marketing strategy or sales strategy or business investment strategy. Then you can really tie. So it's kind of looking at the sphere from all angles rather than looking at a flat map, right? We're taking and we're looking at, we're spinning it. We're looking at it from the top, the bottom, the sides, instead of just looking at a flat map and saying, here's my picture, here's what I see, because you're missing all that other stuff. And if you can do that, if you can look at all those things, you can immerse yourself and learn and look at it from all those angles, you're going to be the smartest guy in the room.
If you have a question for Anthony, then head over to www.anthonyflatt.com and leave him a voicemail message for a chance to have your question featured on the show. Thanks for listening to the Business at the Speed of Sell podcast at www.businessatthespeedofsell.com.